reelected in May of 2014. My husband and I and our family came to Fulshear in September of 2011. We bought a home in Cross Creek Ranch, and we just had a desire to get involved in city politics, and I ran for council back in 2014, was blessed enough to gain the trust and support of the residents here in Fulshear. And over the past 2 years, I've done my best to bring my business skills and business acumen into the government city functions. We've accomplished a lot. When I came on board in May of 2014, the city had just adopted a comprehensive plan, which was actually a labor of love of all the residents and citizens here of Fulshear and the people who work and are stakeholders here in our community. And they put together what is a long-term overview, vision, and strategic plan for the city of Fulshear. And I was challenged with reading that document, taking it all in, and then applying it to the day-to-day decisions that we have in city government. How we can not only make responsible use of our infrastructure, wise use of our tax dollars to accomplish that, bring about wastewater and water services to the parts of the city that have water. I know a lot of people out here on Bodark are on wells, and drainage facilities, roads, repairs. There's a whole gamut of things that I've been able to put my fingers in over my first term, my first 2 years here. I'm looking forward to this election cycle. One of the key things that is on the ballot is our Home Rule Charter, which I support. It was the Home Rule Charter was drafted by a group of 15 of our citizens from all different areas of our community. They got together and they debated all the ins and outs we could possibly have in transitioning to Home Rule, which allows us to basically set the way that we want to govern our city. The people can set the way that they want to be governed. Those 15 people debated. They didn't always agree unanimously a lot of the times, but the product that emerged in December of 2015 from that committee is a blessing to this city. It gives us great structure to move forward to achieve our comprehensive plan that we had adopted back in May of 2014, and I'm eager to see that pass on the ballot. With that passing, it charges council with a very large responsibility, and that large responsibility is going to be setting policies and procedures that govern the city staff internal workings as well as council workings. Additionally, we'll be tasked with drawing districts to establish a way in which our future council would be elected. Also, the council will expand from 5 current members to 7, and that will be divided into 5 districts and 2 at large, as whatever our experts say when we get our census data back. And one of the things we're trying to do is make sure that every single resident has an equal voice on the council, that it is not diluted by a highly densely populated area, which we have more that will be coming online in the next 5 to 10 years, but that everyone has equal representation and equal participation in the process. There's a lot of little intricacies I would enjoy speaking with each of you about if you have questions, and I will answer it to the best of my ability. Going forward, I ask for your trust again and your confidence in your vote. I pledge to make sure that I do my homework, bring the best possible, my best possible skills at every crossroads. I know that when we get our packets and when we're tasked with making decisions on behalf of the city, I dive in. And I have the intellectual curiosity to do so and the drive to do that. And I promise that if reelected, I will continue to work diligently for the citizens of Fulshear. Thank you.
Here, here.
Well, howdy. Howdy. My name's Doug Miller. I'm not from here. I just live here. But my kids are from here. This is they're from Fulshear, Texas. This is their hometown. And how it came to be here is we moved here in July of 13, and I was living on the cattle ranch where I grew up out in the hill country, about an hour west of Austin. And it got to be my oil and gas business dealings were getting to the point where I needed to be closer to Houston. So I lived in Houston before. I went to law school in Houston, but I lived in the Heights, and I very much liked the Heights. Not a place to raise a family. So I called an old law school buddy. He was like, "Hey, we're thinking about moving to Houston. Where would be a good place to go to raise a family?" And he said, "Man, I got your place. We're about to move there ourselves." He said, "It's in Fulshear, Texas." And I was like, "What's a Fulshear, Texas? I didn't never heard of the place." So he's like, "Man, well, why don't?" He kind of told me where it was. He said, "Why don't you come and bring the family, and y'all can stay with us, and you can go over and visit and see the place." And that's what he ended up doing. And I just fell in love with this place. I did. It's like this is where I want to raise my family for all the reasons that y'all know better than I do. And so we bought a house in Cross Creek Ranch, which is it's nice out there, but it's no Bodark area. You know, we're all living on top of each other out there. It's kind of like the world's biggest, nicest apartment complex. But Fulshear. Fulshear's special, isn't it? And it's a neat place. And as again, y'all know better than I do that the change is happening, and the people are coming, and that change cannot be stopped. But it can be managed so that Fulshear can maintain that sense of small town, that sense of an autonomous community, so that downtown Fulshear doesn't look like Mason Road, you know, so that and so that down the road I'm not having a conversation with somebody said, "Oh yeah, you should have been here about 10 years ago before it was ruined by people like me." And so that's what I believe in, and everything is filtered through that. This is such a neat place, and all the things are going on, like this that event we had yesterday downtown, the 4th of July, or the 4th of July, St. Patrick's Day. Sorry, the festival was such a neat deal, and I think we ought to be doing bigger and more of those. I think it's on the right track, and it's something I know a little bit about. Most of my adult life, I've been an event producer and promoter. I've done everything from helping kind of small municipalities like Fulshear put on events of their own, the Buda Fire Fest in Buda, and the Llano Rock and River Fest in Llano are a couple of examples, all the way to very large for-profit multi-day destination music festival. The Music Fest in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, is one I've done. So it's like I said, I think Fulshear and you guys that are doing those things are on the right track and doing them. And if you'd like to do more, I'm a guy that can help you out. Also, there's going to be lots of parks and green space and stuff like that coming up. At Texas A&M, I earned a Bachelor of Science in Recreation, Park, and Tourism Sciences, where we studied very extensively how to operate government-run, tax-supported park programs at the municipal level, at the state level, at the national level. So I've given that area a lot of thought, a lot of study, and also my old professors are right up the road, and a lot of my old classmates have made a life in city parks, so I can always call on those people as a resource as well. So that's just a couple of specific things, ways I think I can contribute. I guess those are small things in comparison to everything we've got in front of us, because we've got a lot of roads, a lot of infrastructure, a lot of utilities and things like that are going to be doing. We were talking to some of y'all. I know you want to keep this Bodark area, and this oasis that it is, and that can be done in a regulatory way. The same thing we can do Fulshear, and keep this beautiful little town, the beautiful little town that it is, and that's going to be a balancing act too, to try to do that, because we don't want to over-regulate the business. We all want this to be a great place to do business without getting overtaxed, over-regulated, so people can start businesses here, and people can bring their businesses here, and people can visit here, and we all benefit from that. So let's try to do the system to keep it as beautiful in small towns as we can, but not overregulate people and let the business be done. And that's more or less, I guess we could go on. I don't want to get down the rabbit trail and start talking issue to issue to issue, but running out of time, I can say that I've never served for office before. I do not know everything, but I am all the time learning, and I will do my best every day. I will pay attention, and there's good people here that have served before that I can learn a lot from, and all you people, and because hey, like I said, I'm not from here, but I'm here now, and I plan on being here for a long, long time. So let's make the best Fulshear can be.
Hi, my name is Stephen Gill. I want to again say thank you, Owen, and thank you, Sherry. Where is she? For opening up your home to us. It's really kind of you to do this, and I would remind you that they've got some food back here, so we really need to eat that later, because otherwise it would be rude not to eat that food, wouldn't it? So I'm going to be in there anyway. Yeah, Stephen Gill. I've lived in Fulshear with my wife Benita. That's Benita over there, and the sunglasses just waving. Since 1999, that's when we first came to Fulshear. Hannah was born about 3 months later. I think the population was 743 people at that time. I remember that because there was a road sign that said Fulshear, population 743, and we put +1 on it. So there's been a lot of growth since then. I mean, I think the city's probably now about 9,000 to 10,000 people in population. So the city's come a great way, and it's a very different place to where it was back then. The reason I ran for city council was I mean, we all love Fulshear, it's a beautiful place, and I was just concerned that it would become another cookie cutter, town like anywhere else, and so I wanted to get involved. So I started out by running on the Planning and Zoning Commission. That was in 2008, 2009, and then somebody suggested I run for city council. So I ran for city council and was elected into office in May of 2009. So I ran for 6 years, 3 terms, yeah, 3 terms, 6 years. And I enjoyed my time. That was a terrific amount of growth in the city during that period of time. I mean, it went from, as I said, maybe 1,000 people by then to 8,000 people today. So we've faced tremendous growth. I worked with a great bunch of people, both at City Hall and on City Council. And some of the achievements that I was involved in was the city's comprehensive plan that Tricia was talking about earlier. So, we could see this growth was coming. A steamroller was coming out from Houston, Georgia, and we knew we wanted to give some sort of direction. We needed to give some sort of direction to how Fulshear was going to grow and develop. So we got involved with some consultants and started holding some town hall meetings to get the community involved to say, okay, what's your future for the future of Fulshear? How do you want it to look? And the result was that comprehensive plan. And that plan still, even today, is a great guide map for the city of Fulshear and how we're growing. Another thing that we did in terms of allowing for the growth of Fulshear was the zoning ordinance. And that was another way in which we could try and guide the development of Fulshear and how it might look. So we talked, Doug was talking earlier on about the people of Fulshear. There's a lot of different groups in Fulshear. I mean, there are people who have lived here for generations, and this is their home too. So it was important during that zoning process that we recognised that. So for instance, in Old Town, there are people who live in manufactured homes, and sometimes people don't want to hear about manufactured homes, but we had to carve out some areas of Fulshear that would be protected, and people would continue to be able to enjoy living in manufactured homes. To the same extent, this area here, we protected this to a certain extent by regulating this area as rural residential. So in the Boydark area, you can only develop or build a property 1 acre and higher. So these things can be done to sort of help guide and develop our city, but the last 6 years are pretty fast. It's going to get even faster. I mean, it's just going to happen at a continuing rate. It's almost exponential. So I want to be involved again. Like Tricia said, one of the important factors that's coming up right now is home rule. The city's at a crossroads right now. If we go down that home rule path, and I'm a great advocate of home rule, then I think that's going to be a great thing for our city. It gives us the tools that we need to face that ongoing development, this rapid growth. I want to commend the Home Charter Commission for the work that they do. I mean, it's, you know, they did some tremendous work in terms of looking at all the issues, all the problems that Fulshear has, and trying to take into account all of the different interest groups in Fulshear, because there's a lot, and there's a lot of moving parts there that needed to be figured out, and they spent some time, were very diligent in doing that, and I think they've come up with a fantastic document. It's right here, if you want to grab one of those before you leave and read it through. You'll be getting one in your mail as well. Every voting person in Fulshear will be getting a charter document, because it's going to be on the ballot and it's important to vote on that. My feeling is that we should be voting for home rule. That will give us a more professional management and governance of our city, and it gives the city some powers to basically control our ETJ a little bit more. And our ETJ spreads from Katy, basically I-10 in the north, right down to the Bradford in the south. It's a huge ETJ. So there's a lot of issues to be faced. I'm a CPA by profession, just a little bit about me. And I've worked in the industry my life in CFO roles, CEO roles, so I'm used to managing businesses. So I have a business type of mind. I like getting into detail. I like thinking through problems and resolving them and working with others to come to solutions that are going to work. And so that's why I like to be involved in city government. And so that's me. I'd be happy to answer any questions. I hope I've met you all. I don't think I've met yet Sergio, but I'll say hello in a minute. And I would ask you for your vote, and whether or not you vote for me or any of these candidates, please vote for home rule. And it's really important. I think, understand it, read the document. I think it's going to be a blessing for our city. But, the voters decide, and I think that's an important decision that we'll be making in May. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is PJ, and so I currently live in Cross Creek Ranch. I recently moved to Fulshear, and why I moved to Fulshear was to raise my 2 kids, and this is Samit here. He's my older kid. And I have a 1-year-old baby girl. She's sick today, so my wife is taking care of her. And I'd like to thank very much Cheryl and Owen for inviting me to their house. And I don't have a team to do my political campaign, so I'm very glad that I was here and I have at least a chance to talk to a few of you here. And this morning, me and my son did a little bit of campaign in our neighborhood and talked to a few of our neighbors. So that's all I have done. So I want you all to help me in this campaign and join hands with me and actually, spread the words on my campaign. And why I actually ran for the campaign is because in our neighborhood we are having some settlement issues, and it has been a long time, 1.5 years we've been talking about, but we have not been able to settle it yet. And it's our biggest investment. House is very big for us, and we want to live there for a long time to come. And to solve that issue, just talking from the sidelines are not really doing so much. So I jumped into the bandwagon to try and be on the city council so that I can talk a little better and help the homeowners that are having problems. And now I hear from everyone that there are more problems that we can solve. So by profession I'm an engineer, and being an engineer I've always solved problems on the Gulf of Mexico when they are creating huge oil platforms, or problem of a house where they are building a little bit of a tiny structure. And being an engineer, I'm always concerned about safety. That is why engineers are there. So I always care about safety of the people, and I hope that if I get everybody's vote, then I'm going to go to the city and make sure we are safe in Fulshear. And my other agendas are, I'm originally from Nepal. I don't know if you are aware, it's where Mount Everest is. So from there, I came to the US to study actually, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that USA is such an amazing place. Everybody is so friendly, everybody likes me. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this my home, And, so we studied there, got married, stayed in Houston for 5 years after I originally came to South Dakota. It was too cold there. And I was like, man, this is not where I want to be, so moved to Houston. And And again, to raise kids in Houston, it was not so much fun. And we didn't know anybody in Fulshear. You know, we had no idea. We just came and saw beautiful houses and nice greenery, and man, this is where we gotta be. So we just moved in here and you know, talked to the neighbors here and there, made friends. And here I'm so glad to have you all, and you are all my family. You're always welcome to my house, because I don't have any uncles or aunts or anybody around here. You know, if you come to my house, I'd be so happy. I can make really good tea from Nepal, you know, and my wife is a better cook, you know, she can, you know, we can do that together. And so my main intention is to help the city grow. I mean, I'd like to have some more bike trails, hike trails. So again, coming back to, I'm from Nepal, you know, in Nepal there are not many roads. All there are hike and bike trails, you know. So when I went to school, I was on a mountain bike or I was running, you know. That's how. So I'm very much into the keeping healthy kind of initiative. And I'd like to bring that in Fulshear if I can, and have more hike trails, bike trails, and everybody become healthy and live happy. Eventually in life, I think being happy is the goal. And that's what I would want to pursue. And I'd like to see a smile on everybody, you know, in Fulshear. So I hope you guys will vote for me, and I can work and make our dreams come true. Thank you very much for listening.